You are sitting still right now. Your body is at rest. Nothing around you is dangerous. And yet somewhere inside your chest, there is a low hum of unease, a background tension you cannot quite name. You have probably felt it your whole life. You assumed it was just you. It is not just you. It is ancient, and it was never meant to go away. Your brain is not designed for the world you are living in. It was built for a different one entirely. A world where the grass moved and you did not know why. A world where the snap of a branch in the dark could mean you had seconds left. A world where relaxing too completely could get you killed. That brain is still inside your skull right now. And it is still running the same programs it ran 2 million years ago. Here's what neuroscientists call it: the default threat detection system. It operates constantly beneath your conscious awareness, scanning for signals that something is wrong. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman described this as your brain's System 1, the fast, automatic, always-on layer of your mind that never clocks out, never takes a vacation, and never once stops asking, "Is this safe?" The rational, deliberate part of you, the part reading these words, is System 2. But System 2 is slow. System 1 got here first. And for most of human history, System 1 was the only thing keeping you alive. Think about what your ancestors faced, not your grandparents, not even your great-great-grandparents. Go back further. Go back to the Pleistocene, the epoch that stretches from roughly 2.6 million years ago to just 12,000 years before your birth. For virtually all of human evolutionary history, your ancestors lived in small bands of around 50 to 150 people. They slept on the ground or in shallow caves. They moved constantly in search of food. And they were not always the apex predator. They were prey. Leopards took them from trees. Hyenas circled their camps at night. Rival groups of humans could mean sudden, catastrophic violence. Starvation was a real possibility every single season. A child born in the Pleistocene had roughly a 50% chance of surviving to adulthood. The ones who made it were not necessarily the strongest. They were the most vigilant, the most paranoid, the ones whose nervous systems never fully settled down. That is your inheritance. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping the fear circuit in the human brain. What he found was that the amygdala, a small almond-shaped cluster of neurons buried deep in the brain center, acts as a biological alarm system. It receives sensory input before your conscious mind does. It can trigger a full fear response before you have any idea what you are reacting to. Your heart rate spikes. Your muscles tighten. Cortisol floods your bloodstream, and all of this happens in under 100 milliseconds. You do not decide to feel afraid. Your amygdala decides for you. This is not a malfunction. This was the point. A false alarm cost your ancestor nothing but a few seconds of adrenaline. A missed alarm could cost them everything. Natural selection, over millions of years, built a brain that would rather sound the alarm 1,000 times for nothing than stay silent once and be wrong. Researchers call this the negativity bias. Your brain weights threats more heavily than opportunities. It lingers on danger longer than it lingers on pleasure. It is 3 times more reactive to potential losses than to equivalent gains. And it is almost impossible to talk out of. You already know this. You can receive 10 pieces of good news and 1 piece of bad news, and the bad news will occupy your mind for hours. Your brain is not doing this to torture you. It is doing its job. It is scanning for the leopard. And the leopard for your ancestors was always potentially real. But here's where it gets strange. Here is where the ancient machinery starts to misfire in the modern world. Your brain cannot reliably tell the difference between a physical threat and a social one. To the amygdala, a growling predator and a judgmental glance from a coworker look almost identical. Both activate the same fear circuits. Both trigger the same cascade of stress hormones. Both register as danger. This is not a metaphor. Researcher Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA ran a series of brain imaging studies in the early 2000s in which participants were excluded from a simple online game by what they believed were other players. The region of the brain that lit up was the same region that activates during physical pain. Social rejection, to your ancient brain, is not a minor inconvenience. It is an existential threat. And this makes perfect evolutionary sense. For your ancestors, social rejection was not a bruised ego. It was a death sentence. A human alone on the savannah did not survive. The group was everything. The group hunted together, protected each other, shared food during scarcity, and cared for children. To be cast out was to be left to